All right, so today we're jumping into the official rulebook for barbers down in Florida. But we're not going to talk about getting a license. Nope. We're talking about what happens when you break the rules.
So you ever thought about this? Maybe making a little extra cash, cutting hair for your friends, your family? I mean, you're pretty good with the clippers, right? People are always hitting you up for a fade. Sounds like a super easy way to make some money, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's meet a guy we're going to call Alex. Now, Alex is a natural. His lineups are super crisp, but he hasn't gone through the whole official process, and he's thinking about taking a few shortcuts. We're going to follow along with his, let's call them bad ideas, to see exactly what could go wrong according to Florida law.
All right, let's get into it. Before we can talk about the penalties, we got to understand the fouls, right? Think of it like a game. The Florida Barbers Act lays out a whole list of things that are just not allowed. These are the big don'ts in the barbering world. So let's look at Alex's first big temptation. And this one is all about faking it till you make it. Or trying to anyway. It's all about pretending to be something you're not. A licensed professional barber.
So Alex is thinking, you know what? I'll just tell people I'm licensed. Who's going to check? It's just a little white lie, right? He figures he'll just say he is. Maybe hang a cool sign and start cutting hair. Seems pretty harmless.
Yeah, but that little white lie is actually a huge red flag for the law. And check this out. This is the exact language from the statute. It is crystal clear. You can't even hold yourself out as a barber. You can't act like one. You can't call yourself one if you don't have that official piece of paper. So Alex's first idea, boom, immediate foul.
And trust me, the law has thought of everything when it comes to faking it. You can't just borrow your friend's license. You can't lie on your application to get one. You can't pretend to be some other licensed barber. And you for sure can't try to use a license that's already been revoked. It's all considered fraud, plain and simple.
Okay, so Alex's bad ideas don't stop there. It's not just about pretending. Now he's thinking bigger. He's thinking about how to set up his whole operation. And yeah, he's ready to cut some more corners.
So what's his next grand plan? He's going to turn his garage into this cool underground barbershop. And get this, he's going to hire his buddy, who also cuts hair, but, surprise, also doesn't have a license. He's thinking 2 chairs, double the business, what could go wrong?
And this is where you see how fast the problems stack up. The law is super specific here. You can't just operate a barber shop without a license for the shop itself. That's Rule 1. And Rule 2, you absolutely cannot hire someone to practice barbering if they aren't licensed. So with that one brilliant idea, Alex has broken 2 more huge rules.
And then there's the ultimate rule. It's like a catch-all. The law basically says it's illegal to violate, well, any of the rules in the book, or any rule the Barber's Board makes. It's pretty much the legal way of saying, just follow all the rules, okay?
All right, let's recap. Alex has pretended to be a barber. He's opened an unlicensed shop, and he's hired an unlicensed buddy. He's broken a whole bunch of rules. So, what happens when he gets caught? Well, this is where we get to the fun part, the penalty box.
So what's the actual price for taking all these harmless little shortcuts? Is it just a warning, a fine, or something worse? Let me tell you, the Florida Barber's Board has a whole menu of consequences to choose from.
The board has a lot of options. They could start small, with a simple reprimand, basically a slap on the wrist, a written warning. Or they could step it up to a fine. They could even put you on probation, where they're watching you like a hawk. But then, look at the big ones. If Alex ever decides to go legit and apply for a real license, they can just say, nope. And if he somehow already had one, they could suspend it or just revoke it completely. And that, my friends, is game over. Now let's talk about that fine for a second. We're talking up to $500. Now you might think, $500 I can handle that. But here's the kicker. That's per offense. So for our guy Alex, that's 1 fine for pretending to be a barber, another for the illegal shop, and a third for hiring his unlicensed friend. That's $1,500, just like that. Let's say Alex charges what, $25 a cut? He'd have to give 60 haircuts for free just to pay that off. It adds up, and it adds up fast. So at this point, you might be thinking, wow, this is a lot. All this for a haircut? I get it. It sounds a little intense. Why is the state so worried about who's using a pair of clippers? Well, there's actually a really, really important reason for all of it.
And here it is. This is straight from the law itself. The whole point of all these rules is to protect the public, is to protect you. It's about your health, your safety,
and your well-being every single time you sit down in a barber's chair.
So what does that actually mean? It means making sure the person holding a sharp razor to your neck knows what they're doing. It means they know how to sanitize their tools so you don't get a nasty infection. It means they get safety procedures. It means they've actually passed a test to prove they have the skills to do the job right. So think about it. The next time you go for a haircut, just take a look around the shop. These rules, they're not just a bunch of boring paperwork. They're basically a shield. They're the reason you can sit back and trust the person with the clippers. So after all this, the real question is, what are you going to be looking for on the wall?